I came last year, had an amazing experience, and went home enthusiastically raving about the place, everything about it, the experience, the learning. It was about a week after I got back. I think you decided you wanted to go yourself. So, and here we are.
Yeah, I started surfing like 5 years ago. I had a friend who kind of took me out, immediately loved it.
When I found out about it from a friend and she was explaining to me what surfing was all about and how fun it was, I was intrigued by it and I found Surf Simply.
My friend stopped surfing over time, I guess out of frustration, and I kept with it. And I was getting to a point where I was just consistently getting frustrated. The thing I really wanted to do most was to not feel that frustration level.
I was in a frustrating place and the type of schooling just sounded really impressive. It just sounded like an incredible place to learn how to surf.
Like, I desperately wanted to get better. Every birthday wish that I had, or every time I had an eyelash drop off my face, it was always like, please be a better surfer, please be a better surfer. You know, it wouldn't happen because that's not how the world works. Even when I would surf at home and I would catch stuff, it was more luck, and there was no rhyme or reason. I didn't understand why I was catching things versus why I wasn't catching things. That really led me to kind of seek out Surf Simply.
Sheila thought of the idea of surfing, and I have always wanted to learn to surf, so I jumped at the idea. She found this place through a friend, and we booked it.
She's been awesome! So Leslie and I have been friends for about 7 years. We have our children all go to the same school. Yeah, this is our first adventure together, but definitely not our last.
I've actually been surfing about 10 years, but I'm not the best at motivating myself to go out to the beach. I have immense respect for the ocean. I do listen to my fear to a certain extent, but I don't let it stop me either. My sister did some research. She told me I should go. So I did. I'm super happy I did.
Started surfing about 2 years ago. I really learned to surf watching Rue's Whiteboard Wednesday videos. I could probably do them myself, and so I found Surf Simply through those.
We were trying to find a place to go on vacation that we could surf, and looking at all the different places that gave options of surf coaching, we didn't really find anything that was like really specific. And Surf Simply actually had what looked like a methodology to teaching.
I was really a fan of the way they taught, very scientific, methodical kind of way, and I always wanted to attend the school.
So we chose them.
We've been surfing together, air quotes intended, at home. But, until this week, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think, Steph had been pretty frustrated more often than not about just not having all those connecting pieces, all the things you learn here to make surfing more enjoyable. And so it was a lot of fun for me. I'd look over and see what she was doing and see her catching some waves, including some out the back. But what I'm really excited about is to go home this year and to actually really be able to surf together and have it be an enjoyable experience for both of us. Maybe get in the car and have some stoke instead of stoke and frustration. So
Yeah. Derek was phenomenal. He was an amazing coach.
Just as a teacher, you really see when people have a gift for teaching, and he has that.
It was extremely helpful to start with the basics and build up.
He was incredible at just breaking things down, explaining it, but being enthusiastic and so positive.
And now I feel like I can go home and apply what I've learned and keep it going.
So my coaches, I actually had two. I had Will and Harry.
The coach I had this week was Will. I'm a teacher myself in academia. Like, every day when kids come in, I'll teach them something, and they'll do something and they may fail at first, but they'll eventually get it. It's the same sort of thing here.
They made me feel really safe going off the back, which was something that I had told them ahead of time that I was afraid of. So they were always like right there, giving me instruction, encouraging me, not making me feel like I was like by myself. I caught some pretty big waves, something that I'd never expected. I don't think that ever in my life I caught a wave that size. That was really amazing, actually.
As a teacher, the two qualities that are most important is that you are patient and that you are listening. And those two things are like the foundations of a great teacher. And Will embodied both of those two things, and a lot of encouragement too. which is the third thing. And everyone that I met here really had those 2 or 3 things instilled in them from the get-go.
The closest ocean to where I'm at is like 5 hours away. There was never any possibility of learning how to surf. There was nowhere to surf. I went from not being able to surf, never had stood up on a surfboard, have ever held a surfboard in my hands, to after 10 days of surfing, being able to ride an unbroken wave out the back, which is, I think, pretty cool.
I think it's a really unique surf experience in that I've taken a number of surf lessons, and most of them it's a lot of kind of folklore and phrases that are repeated that I don't know have a lot of meaning, and here the stuff is very specific and well thought out.
They break down every single maneuver into a series of steps that you practice over and over and over again through repetition. They videotape you and they review the video, and if you're making any kind of mistakes or anything like that in your stance or whatever, they'll correct you right away so that you don't pick up any bad habits, and I think that's really smart. I'm living proof that you can learn how to surf even though learning how to surf is incredibly difficult.
I guess for me it was that it was sort of something I didn't think I could do. It seemed like sort of beyond my reach. I started doing it at 48 and I did not pick it up quickly. But I progressed and put in my time, and now I got to a point where I feel like I'm actually a surfer.
Learning the functional stance was extremely important for me. I couldn't get up before, and that changed it for me.
Functional stance, definitely I corrected the way I pop up so that I'm more stable on my board.
What was really empowering this week was learning about the buttons on the board to push.
But the best thing I think is looking down the line instead of looking down the drop, because I always look down the drop, and that's one where you would go, but 2, I'm afraid of heights, so it's not a great thing to do because it doesn't make you want to drop into the wave. So looking down the line is really helpful because you're not thinking about the drop.
A lot of my surfing was pretty linear, whether it was straight down the line or straight into the beach. I hadn't gotten to the spot where I had quite made all the connections. Even though I knew the mechanics, it was pretty robotic, and so Jesse really helped me a ton with that.
To see the difference from last year to this year, his stance and form, I almost didn't recognize him. It's incredible. He looks so awesome. So it was pretty cool to watch.
It was fantastic watching Sheila, and I saw her catch a million waves. It gave me a lot of incentive to try to catch my own waves. It was very special for me to be here with Sheila and to share this experience.
And I have to say, even when we signed up, I was just as excited, if not more excited, for Leslie's experience, because I've had the opportunity to be on a surfboard and Leslie hadn't. And I think we both needed the escape from our everyday lives, and watching her achieve her goal of getting up on a board and paddling out was really, really amazing.
We surf together pretty much every time we go out, like at our home beach break, and she always charges a little bit harder than I do. She's a little bit more comfortable as far as like going off the back. It wasn't really any surprise to see her out there like on the first day, and I saw her catch a couple of really big, nice waves. She started like trimming down the line, which was awesome to watch. It's kind of cool to have us both out together, but like at different levels, but we can still kind of like enjoy it all. We talk about it when we go back to like our little bungalow. She'll be like, "Did you see that wave that I got? Like, I saw you."
I saw really in every single person, from the people who were a little bit more advanced, even the people who were more beginners, I saw everyone pretty much achieve the goals that they said they wanted to achieve on that Sunday night when we first got here. Everyone, I think, achieved those goals, and then at some point in the week set new goals.
I think that what Surf Simply has put together is absolutely amazing on so many levels.
Very rarely as adults do we get to sort of break away from our lives and have this sort of camp intensive experience and have the quality of instruction, but the quality of care really just be at such a high level. I can't even imagine going anywhere else now to a surf school. It would be really hard because I think the bar has been set so high.
I think Ru's got something very special here, and I think he's got a fabulous team of coaches.
I feel like everything that I learned here, like I can take it back to my small hometown beach break.
Surf Simply gave me like the greatest gift that I think anyone could have given me. It's like I'm a much better surfer now than I was when I came here. You guys gave me that gift.
It's just been an incredible experience all around in a beautiful place, and I'm very sad that it's over.
I said to Ru last year, I think on this night, the last night of the week, how impressed I was with everything about the business, everything about the experience, how purposeful everything was, how well thought out it was, and at the same time, time all of the people that work here are having a great time. That doesn't happen by accident, and this whole experience is impressive on so many levels. It's a great experience for us, but it's also, you leave feeling like you're part of a new family. That doesn't happen just anywhere, and it doesn't happen by accident. It's pretty special to be part of.